We can become so immersed in the miserable structure of everyday life that we forget how much of existence has always remained mysterious. Nature itself becomes reduced to scenery, the sky becomes weather, the forest becomes trees, the night becomes darkness, and human beings can become so isolated with their own individual realities that they forget to look upward, or inward. My work is in part an invitation to look again, not necessarily to what I see, but to see more, fear and wonder. I have watched people experience these encounters in different ways. Some become frightened, some become overwhelmed, and some become completely still, while others experience wonder, and some people describe something that resembles hope. I believe that response tells us something important about ourselves. When confronted with something that challenges our existing model of reality, the first reaction may reveal the boundaries of our understanding. My understanding of these encounters exists within a much larger spiritual framework. I believe consciousness is more expansive than the limited physical identity through which we experience in this life. I believe that there are dimensions of experience that human beings may not ordinarily be able to perceive, and I understand that the beings and the presences that I work with come from a higher dimensional framework. These are spiritual convictions arising from my lived experience rather than something I ask another person to accept as scientific fact. That distinction is important to me.
There is a part of this journey that I cannot fully articulate. Perhaps no language exists for it yet, and perhaps it never will. I know that the work is purposeful, and I know that these experiences are a profound relationship with these presences. I know that I approach this relationship with gratitude, reverence, and devotion, and I know that I have never experienced it as something meaningless. There is an inner knowing, and these encounters are part of something larger. I do not claim to know how another person should understand that. I can only speak for the experience and the time that has already unfolded within me and around me. At the deepest level, my spiritual understanding is that the apparent separation between myself and these beings is not as the absolute physical world suggests. I experience consciousness as something far greater than the body. This body is temporary, limited, beautifully human. But consciousness, in my understanding, is not confined to these boundaries and these bones. And this is where the deepest thread of my work returns to the Weaver. The Weaver moves through the physical world while remembering something beyond it. She walks within a body, yet listens beyond the body. She stands beneath the night sky, yet feels connected to something that cannot be reduced to sky. She observes the light, but knows that the light is not necessarily the whole story. The greatest mystery is not what they are, it is what we encounter and what awakens within us when we are met with them. An invitation and not a doctrine. My work is therefore not an invitation to follow me blindly. It is an invitation to become curious, to step outside, to look at the sky, to become quiet, to notice and to question, to allow yourself to experience wonder without abandoning discernment. You may see something, and you may see nothing. You may feel fear, you may feel hope. You may experience something that changes the way you understand your own existence. Or you may simply spend an evening beneath the stars and remember that you are part of a world far larger than the small structures of modern life. There is no requirement for the experience to become anything. I do not need you to believe what I believe. I simply believe that human beings deserve the opportunity to encounter mystery without immediately being told that it cannot exist. Because perhaps in a world that has become increasingly isolated, defined and disconnected from the unseen dimensions of experience, wonder itself is a form of remembering. And hope begins where we realise the universe may contain more than we have yet learned how to name. This is the work I do. I document, I observe, I listen, I protect what is sacred, I remain grateful, and I continue to follow the thread, not because I believe I possess all the answers, but because after a lifetime of encounters, I know enough to understand that the questions themselves can be sacred as the answers. This is my work, and this is my path as a weaver. And this is the journey I continue to walk with reverence, humility, and an open heart.